think I'm live. So I'm going to check on comments. Hello, everyone. Just checking technology to make sure we are live. If you are watching, please make a comment so that I know that it's working. Welcome, everyone. I'm excited. Super excited to be here tonight. Thank you all for popping in. Make sure you write a comment so that I know comments are working, that I know technology is working. It looks like there's a bunch of you popping on right now. So that is awesome. Not seeing comments. I may not. That might not be a bad thing for me. Hello. Okay. Yay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to sit with me and talk about goal setting and mindset. Super excited to be here tonight. Super, super excited. So I'm going to jump right in. Those that are watching the replay, I also thank you for coming and taking time out of your day to watch the replay, no matter what time you're watching this. So, hi everyone. All right, tonight, well, let me explain who I am first. First of all, I have a worry stone. Does anybody know what these are? This helps me. It's like a fidget thing. It helps calm my nerves. All right, so my name is Edie. A lot of you know me as Edie Ann. I am a superstar director. I have been with Scentsy. It's going to be 13 years. 13 years. What a journey. Like, insane. It's been amazing. And I've learned a few things along the way. I've shared a few things along the way. And so tonight I want to talk to you guys about something that I'm constantly revisiting. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I do have the comments scrolling over here. It's probably good that it's out of my line of sight because I have severe squirrel syndrome. And so there's that. So, all right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're going to talk about goal setting and mindset tonight. And I hope that you get a few golden nuggets from what I share. All right. So we're going to talk about the why, the what, the how, and the when of goal setting. And I know that in the intro, it talked about mindset, but we're going to talk about if you know Edie, you know that I talk about mindset all the time. And the reason is because everything starts with our brain, our mind, and the way that we think. And if you don't start in a good space, you aren't going to end in a good space. Okay? So, my nose is itching. Irene, thank you for sharing your goal. More teammates, more people, more sales. PRV. Love it. Hello. Hi, Ty. Okay. Edie. Focus. All right. So, the why. Why do we goal set? Why do you think it is important to set goals in our business? Why do you think that it's important to wrap our brains around a goal that we potentially strive for? Right? So, why we set goals is because it allows us to have an ounce of hope, right? We set a goal because we are trying to motivate ourselves to reach for something, right? And if we don't set goals, there's really no push, there's no motivation, there's no hope to get us to that space, to that place. Okay. And so why we set goals is so that we can build. It's so that we can basically meet the expectations that you set. Okay? So we are setting expectations on ourselves. We're setting goals. We're allowing ourselves to motivate ourselves towards something. Okay? So why we set goals is almost more important than setting the goal itself. Because if we don't have hope in our business, if we don't have, and it could be business, it could be your personal life, if you don't have hope, you're kind of in a space of idleness. You become hopeless, right? And we kind of get in this funk. And so if you've ever felt where you're stuck in a rut, or you feel that there is no reason to do what you're doing, some people get into a pretty severe depression. It is hope that will get us out of that. And by setting goals, you are allowing for hope in your life or your business. Okay? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. It gets you, setting goals gets you to strive for things that you want in your life. And hope is a very powerful emotion, as I just stated, right? Because when you feel hopeless, there's sadness, there's depression, there's negativity, there's all of these things that go with not having hope. And so when you instill hope, we have that power. We have the ability to instill hope into our lives by setting goals. Because it gives us something to strive for. It gives us something to work for, to look forward to, right? So why is a very important piece to goal setting? Understanding why you're setting the goals, because ultimately it's going to lift you up. Okay? Okay. So we know why. It's going to motivate us. It's going to give us hope. What are goals? So part of my purpose in my life, I have been able to figure it out. Not everybody gets that opportunity, and I'm very blessed and very, I just feel very blessed that I have the knowledge of what I'm supposed to be doing on this earth. And a big part of that is helping people know what their why is. Why are you here? Why are you doing the things that you do? Why are you creating a future? Why are you doing what you do? Why do you get up in the morning? Okay. And so a purpose, or not a purpose, a why is not, and this is where people get confused. Okay. And I'm here to set you straight tonight. A why is not a person, place, or thing. Your why is an emotion. Your why you do something is an emotion. Okay? You have goals that are person, places, and things to help you get to your why. Does that make sense? Okay? So your why is an emotion. That is the ultimate thing that we're doing in life, is trying to get to our why. And that's the emotion that gives us the most fulfilled feeling. Okay? I'll give you an insight. My why is to feel as though I'm enough. Most of my life, especially as a child, I did not feel like I was enough. I never said enough, did enough, had enough, was enough. I was never enough. And so my striving every day is to have that emotion to feel as though I'm enough. And I'm going to tell you right now, this fulfills that for me, right? So a goal of mine is to teach, because it helps me feel like I'm enough. Okay. So hopefully that's kind of making sense for you all. So the goals that you set are super important, because the goals are going to be the stepping stones to your why. Your why probably will never change. And that's where people get confused. Your why changes when you achieve it. No, your goals change when you achieve them. But the goals are just the stepping stones to the ultimate why, as to why you're doing it in the first place. Okay? So, what are goals? Hopefully this all makes sense. I don't want to lose any of you guys. All right? If you have questions, please ask. So, what are goals? Goals are people, places, and things. Okay? So, ultimately, a goal is what you're wanting, needing, or dreaming about. Okay? So a goal is what you want, need, or dreaming about. Okay? So those can be people, places, or things. They're typically nouns. Okay? Things. Goal setting is actually meant for dreaming. So we're dreaming of what we want to accomplish. We're dreaming and hoping for things to show up in our life, or to be able to accomplish things, or to do things, or to see things, or to have something, or to have a person in your life. Okay? So a goal is something you want, need, or are dreaming about. Okay? Okay. All right. So how do we figure out what those things are? That can be fun, right? A lot of times people will do vision boards or dream boards, where you will go into a catalog and cut out words or pictures of things that you want, or scenes of places that you want to visit, or potentially even scenes of things that you want to accomplish or do in your life. Okay, whether it's to travel to Africa, or ride on an elephant, or swim in a specific lake, or marry a certain person, or get married at a certain place, own a particular car, have so many children, have a pool in your backyard, or have a specific type of house, or you get what I'm saying. Okay, so those are the things that you want, need, or are dreaming about. Okay, so a goal can be something that you need. You know, maybe you need money for hospital bills. Okay, so it's important. Thank you, Takika. Thank you. Y equals emotion. Goal equals want, need, or dream about. Absolutely. And so here's the biggest part about the what. Okay, so when we're dealing with what, buying a house and having more sales into Scentsy business. I love it. I love that you guys are sharing your goals. Thank you. When you use more than one of your senses to do anything, it instills in you, and this is where Edie's going to start talking about mindset a little bit, okay? Because I'm gonna tutelage you on how your brain works. And there's some scientific stuff behind this. So the more senses that you use to do a specific activity, the more instilled in you it becomes. Okay? So one of the reasons why we encourage dream boards is because there's a physical aspect and a thought aspect and a touch aspect. Okay? Or sight aspect, touch aspect, and thought. Okay? So you're having to physically cut them and put them on the board, place them, so you've got some sight going on there. Seeing the board itself is sight, and you're touching it, right? You have the ability. So the more senses that you use when you're doing something, the more instilled it will become, the more of a habit it'll become, the more of, and that goes with habit, creating habits as well. Okay. So even if you were to just write it down, write a list of what your goals are, or what your dreams are, or what your wants are, or your desires and your needs are. Okay. Putting pen to paper is the touch and the sight and the thought. So you're using more, emotions, or more senses, not emotions, senses, to create that list. Okay, so you are able to instill it a little bit better. Even better would be to speak it, to read it as you're writing it, because now you're using sound and you're hearing it as an audible. Okay. So it's important, just as important as why you're doing it, but what you're wanting and what you're needing and what you're seeing as part of your life. Okay? Okay. Now, how do we do this? Right? How do we set goals? How do we fulfill goals? How do we do that? All right? We know why we're doing it, right? Because we need to instill some hope. We know what now, because we're going to write down the things that we are wanting, needing, and dreaming of, right? How do we do that now? Okay. So, kind of with the dream board and the writing of the lists, we're going to create a to-do list for each goal. For each thing that you want to achieve, you need to do a to-do list. Easy enough, right? So let's say you want to lose 15 pounds. Your to-do list, or your list of things that would attribute to or toward that goal, could be groceries. It could be exercise. It could be meal planning. It could be counseling, right? All of those things would be on your list of losing 15 pounds, right? Because these are different things that will be, in our world, income producing activities towards that goal. Okay. So losing weight is not income producing, but it's producing, active producing, right? Action producing, so that you can work towards that goal. Okay. So that's how you're going to break it down. Make those goals achievable. So even if some of those things on your list seem a little far-fetched or seem like it might be out of your reach right now, some of those other things that are on there will bring you closer to that one. So remember I said at the beginning that your goals are stepping stones to your why? Well, this list is stepping stones to your goals, which will be stepping stones to your why. Do you see now how we're building that ladder and how everything is connected? Right? Okay. Let's say you want to take a trip. Okay, so we're going to do another example. Your list might look like the amount of money we need. Okay, it could be your packing list. If you are relating it to work, it could mean how many parties do you have to do to get that total money that you need, right? Or how much sales, or how many 6-packs of bars. You're going to break it down individually to different things that will get you closer to that goal. Okay? I think the other part too that I want you guys to realize here is that, again, we're using multiple senses by writing this list, but it's also a brainstorming aspect for you, right? Because you could write a list of 5 things today, and then all of a sudden you think of something else and you come back to that list and add more. Okay. So I'm going to give you a visual. I'm a very visual person. And I use the visualization of buckets. Now, you could physically do this example, or you could do it on paper, or you could just mentally visualize it. Okay. So what I do, is I have what I call supply buckets. And so each supply bucket represents one of my goals. Okay. So this bucket might be losing 15 pounds. This bucket might be earning the incentive. This bucket might be going on a specific trip. This bucket might be getting a new dining room table. Okay. Those are all some of my buckets right now. And so in the bucket, you will have multiple slips of paper. And on each slip of paper is going to be an action that will get you closer to the goal of that bucket. Okay, so just like your list, all right? But in this case, you're going to literally have pieces of paper in the bucket with different actions that you can take, different to-dos that you can do to get you closer to the goal, okay, to the end result of that bucket, okay? And I think that just in that visualization, it just sets into motion this motivation that's like, oh, like I want to empty the bucket. I want to turn that bucket upside down and be like, I'm done with that one. I got it. I did it. I achieved it. It's mine, right? So each bucket is going to be different because each bucket represents a goal. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So each bucket will be a goal, and inside the bucket there will be slips of paper for the actions that you need to do. Just brainstorm. Just write anything that you can think of. Anything at all that you can think of that will go towards that goal. Okay? Okay. Hello. All right. Now, so the last thing is when. When do you set goals? All right. So why is for the hope and the motivation to get the job done, right? To meet the expectations that you set. I'm looking at some notes just so that I don't mess up. The what are the goals basically are what you need or want, need or dream about. How is by creating a list of steps and actions that you need to do to get to that goal, to achieve that goal. And then when, can anybody guess? When do you set goals? Right away. Right away. Right away. Do not wait. Prioritize your goals, okay? So once you have set a goal, and when I say set a goal, setting a goal just means that you have written down what you want, need, or are dreaming about. That's setting a goal and writing your lists, right? Your actions and your to-dos. Filling that bucket with those slips, okay? That is what we call setting a goal, okay? Now you got to prioritize those buckets, right? So if it's a combination of what you want, need, and are dreaming about, it's probably highly likely that the need might have to come first, right? Because if you're putting it in a need category, it's something that your life is in need of right now. So that might be more of a priority than the want or even the dream of, okay? What you're going to find in irony is that, let's say you're working on one of your need goals. Some of those actions or those to-dos might actually be helping you gain closer to a want or a dream of goal, right? You could have a to-do that is in all of the buckets. The same action would be in all of the buckets, right? So that can happen. So you're going to need to prioritize your buckets, get them in the right order, so that you can be working on the actions in the right space, in the right way, okay? I'm going to give you an exercise in a little bit, but I think I need to address the mindset. You have heard, if you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right. Right? So if you think that you cannot achieve something, or if there is a slip in your bucket that you feel is unachievable, unattainable, you're never going to reach it. You're never going to make it. You're never going to do it. Ultimately, you are going to get in your way every time you try to work closer to that goal. Did you know that? You have that much power on yourself. That's a lot. Yeah, right? So I'm here to tell you that so I'm going to get into the technical stuff, and I think that it's important that we know that only because I'm sorry, I just got a message. It's important because if you cannot have the belief set in your mind that you have the ability to do something, then you literally are going to knock yourself off the pedestal every single time you try. You will try and you will try, but as long as your subconscious mind or even your conscious mind is having any doubt that you can achieve it, you'll keep pushing yourself off that pedestal. You'll keep pushing yourself out of the action that needs to happen, or you'll talk yourself out of it. Okay? 10%, here's the scientific information. 10% of our brain is conscious thinking. 90% of our brain is unconscious thinking. Think about that. Okay? Use your 10% and think about that right now. So, if 10% of our mind is conscious thinking, and our unconscious mind can only run by whatever got filtered through that 10% first, then don't you want to make sure that what you're putting into that 10% is going to allow for a good autopilot to happen in that subconscious mind? Yeah. Right? So one of the sayings that I say all the time is the story that we tell ourselves about ourselves is the story that we are actually playing out in real life, because our unconscious mind, like all of these hand motions that I'm doing, the breath and that I'm taking in and out, many of the things that I am doing right now are being led by an unconscious mind. I'm not thinking about moving my hands. I literally am not. It's just kind of happening, right? I didn't think about scratching my nose, right? It happens at a level that is unconscious to us, but conscious because it filtered through our 10%. I know that's a lot, but I want you to think about this. If the story we tell about ourselves to ourselves is the story that we believe and play out, then don't you want that story to be a good one? Don't you want to be telling yourself that you have the ability to accomplish things? Don't you want to tell yourself it's possible to do the things that you want to do? When you start having that negative self-talk and you're like, oh, Edie, there's no way that you're going to be able to do that. That's when I'm like, time out, dude. Like, it's possible. It might not look the same way that so-and-so is doing it, but it's possible that I can do it. Right? And so with that mindset, you have the ability to dream, to want things, to desire things, to want to accomplish things, right? And that's a very, very exciting place to build a life and a business from. When you have hope, and you know things are possible, and you have the ability to do it. Okay? So I want you to be open-minded when you're filling out those slips to put in those buckets. Right? And say, you know what? This seems unachievable right now, but I know I can do it. And there could be something in this bucket that I do that actually gets me closer to that thing that I think is unachievable. How exciting is that? Right? So when is going to be right now? You're going to set goals right away. When you're excited about it, set it up. Get that bucket out, write those slips out, put the slips in the bucket, and start working towards it. Okay? So here's the exercise that I want to give you guys before I say goodnight. Okay? We know the why. We know the what, we know the how, and we know the when, okay? Part of the how is creating the buckets, making the slips, right? But you got to do something with those buckets, right? You can't just let them sit there and look at them. They're not going to manifest themselves, right? You got to manifest with the universe, okay? So, I call it my bucket analogy. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to set 5 to 15 minutes aside a day. That's it. 5 to 15 minutes a day aside. It could be first thing in the morning. It could be right before you go to bed. It could be at your lunchtime. Whenever you want to do that, okay? It could be different times every day. Doesn't matter, okay? And you're going to pull out one slip from the bucket you're working on. So remember, we had to prioritize. So the need's probably going to be here first, and then the want and the dream. So you're going to pick out a slip from the need bucket, and you're going to do it. You're going to do it. Just a random slip, pick it out, and do the action. Okay? That's it. Every day. One thing. That's all you have to do. Now, you know what the fun thing is? You're going to finish one of those. Some of them are going to be super easy. Super, super easy for you. And you're going to say, you know what? I want to go pick another one. This is exciting. I want to see if I can do another one. So you're going to go and you're going to pick another one. And you're going to do that one. And then you're going to remember, oh my gosh, that one is one that is in this bucket too. So I could go find that one, or I could do it again later, right? So have fun with it. Visualize it, right? The more senses involved, the more action you're going to take. Okay. I just want you guys to, and I also want to mention, once you have completed an action, you may remove it from the bucket, but that doesn't mean you can't add new things in. Remember, I said today you might have a list of 5 things. Tomorrow you might add 2 more because you remembered or you thought of something else, right? So that could happen. You could take one out and be like, oh, but I'm going to put this one in there, right? So you're constantly working towards those goals. Constantly working towards those goals. Okay? Okay. That's what I had to share tonight. I really hope you guys found that valuable. Do any of you have any questions that you want to ask me about goal setting, about mindset? Could be about anything, really. I'm here for you right now. So if you have any questions, I will watch the chat. But I am super excited for you guys to get started with your goal setting, because ultimately, once we figure out what we need to do and how we need to do it, getting to that emotional why is just so much easier and more fulfilling. And remember, I said that your goals will change, right? Because once you've achieved a goal, you're probably going to set a new one or want a different one. And your why doesn't necessarily change. And here's the reason. Even though right now I'm feeling as though I'm enough because I'm teaching, tomorrow morning I might not feel like I'm enough, or something may happen that triggers me, and now I'm like, ugh, I don't feel like I'm enough, right? So I'm constantly on an everyday basis needing to fulfill that emotion, because that is what makes me strive for things. That's what gives me the drive to get up in the morning, right? Is to know that I can feel as though I'm enough, right? And so as you're setting your goals and as you're accomplishing your goals, that feeling of emotion that you've set as your why, or that you're needing to achieve or feel or gain, is going to become much more apparent to you if you don't know what your why is already. Okay? All right. My first incentive. Yes, Beth, you can do it. So what you need to do is create a bucket of all of the actions that you could be taking that will help you earn the incentive, right? And every day, go in and pick something and do it. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Takika, for rehashing things for me. I enjoy that. Thank you. My first incentive as well. Yay. Awesome, awesome. I should probably go back and read some of the other ones. Let's see. Hope it's possible, and I know I can do it. Absolutely. The goal is to promote to the next level. So create a bucket that says promotion and have slips in it for different activities and actions that you can take that will get you closer to the promotion, right? There's a lot of you that want to promote. So that's what I would do. The more senses you use when doing something, it will become more instilled, habit or routine. Yes. Buying a house. Oh, I read that one already. Good. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time. I hope you guys reach all of your goals. I want to see you reach all of your goals. How exciting is that? And if you have questions and you want to reach out to me, just look me up, Edie Ann. I'll be out there. You can find me. All right. I hope you guys have an amazing night. And thank you for having me here. And I'll see you all later. Bye.